He saw numerous children in terrible conditions while working as a law enforcement officer in Kingman, Arizona, and he wanted to support them. He had been married to his current partner for 12 years, and he's arrived home numerous times to tell her about meetings with disturbed children and how he wishes he could have assisted or taken them home. This is the story of Cop Called to Home for Child Abuse, Kicks in Door, Finds Daughter. But before we dig down deep, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get updated whenever a new video is published. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. On the evening of March 24, 2018, Zach drove to the residence and walked inside. He discovered a very young girl and quickly realised there was something off the instant he saw her. Kayla was her name, and she was only a baby at the time. Unfortunately, the small girl was in such bad shape that it was clear she had indeed been mistreated. To make matters even worse, as per Breitbart, this had been the third time her mistreatment had been reported to the police. He concluded her bruises were clearly the result of violence and needed to be examined. He looked after her and returned her to the station. They watched Wreck-It Ralph to calm the toddler, and they become pals. In barely 5 hours together, the two had formed such a strong bond. When Zach finally got home, he told his wife about the beautiful little child he had met and how Zach just wished to take her home with him. This was not the first occasion his wife had heard something like that. He told his wife many times in the last 15 years. Zach then contacted the DCS, and after several amounts of sleep, he saw how Kayla was doing. Zach felt sorry for the child because she was alone in the hospital, so he asked if he could be added to the list of those that could see her. Zach has handled quite a lot of child abuse cases, and there will always be a child who touches his heart. If only it's possible, he'll take all the children out of their dire situation and treat them as his own in a blink of an eye. This would not, unfortunately, occur overnight. Instead, making it legal would require almost 3 years. The following question they posed had a significant impact on Zach's life. The DCS agent asked if they could be Kayla's foster family for several weeks since they had trouble finding her a home. Zach meant to say yes right away, but he wanted to be sure it wouldn't jeopardise her case. After all, he was the cop who had picked her up from the previous residence. He and his wife then called a family gathering. Raina, the eldest 17-year-old daughter, and Tevin, 15-year-old son, are Zach's children from a former spouse. He presented them a photo of Kayla. He said that she might visit their house and require some love and asked if they could help her. Zach and his wife Sierra brought her home, but that was not an easy task. In truth, a lot of effort went into providing for Kayla with the environment she deserved. They needed to find an extra room for Kayla, plus a high chair and potty chair. However, he wasn't confident whether Kayla would know him. Suddenly, she stretched out for Zach as quickly as he unlocked the car door, an astonished expression on her face. Zach, not sure whether it was the outfit or him, but she spotted him, extended her arm, and grabbed his hand as he led her inside. They sat on the couch watching Wreck-It Ralph, and she grasped his hand. As per Az's family, she arrived with just a bag of clothes which didn't quite fit her, as well as a bottle of milk. That's it. Kayla was taken care of by Zach for nearly 3 years before she could be legally adopted in 2020 while she was 4 years old. The biggest shocker out of 2020 seemed to be that they got an official part of their family. It was the best present he ever got, not just for him, but the entire family, and Sierra and Kayla both made statements of their own. Zach definitely encourages everyone to do what he did. Sierra once said about fostering, since there are so many children who really need families, regardless if it's only for a bit of a time, you can create a beautiful impact for the child. Kayla keeps saying that she adores Zach, but who can blame her? Kayla was finally given the shelter and supportive family she deserves after suffering violence at the hands of those supposed to have been helping her, thanks to a law enforcement officer who went over and above the call of duty in an effective manner. Kayla was not really chatty at first, no. Milk and Chocky were her most common responses. However, on the next day, she was referring to Zach's wife as Mum. The two older children didn't refer to Sierra as a mum since she's not their birth mother. Instead, they refer to her as Sierra, so the wife was puzzled. They approached other fostering friends for advice and advised them just go with it because correcting her would be perceived as rejection. to deal with, Kayla simply looked at Zach and called him man. However, after she began going to childcare and saw the other fathers leaving off Kayla's classmates, he became her dad. So she would turn around and say, "That's my father." The family of Zach never knew how long Kayla would be with them, but she was most likely a member of their family from the start. She arrived soon after Easter and got approximately 8 Easter hampers and 6 Easter gowns. Consequently, Zach's entire family and friends banded together again to assist them in providing for Kayla and cherishing her, as if she was a member of the family, which was precisely what she deserved. Zach's co-workers at the police force were also a tremendous form of assistance for them. They're like his second family because they're a small agency. They were aware of upcoming court dates and when he needed to take Kayla to the clinic for follow-ups. It's lovely to have so much encouragement at work and in his personal affairs. They brought Kayla to Disneyland after approximately 8 months, which the kid enjoyed. Then they had a huge family vacation to Hawaii after only a year, so she accompanied them there as well. They brought her to Hawaii to experience the ocean because she adores water. They also had reached the point where they considered themselves to be her home, and they wanted her to be cared for and receive as much attention as she did in their home. They knew they'd adopt her if only they had the opportunity. There was never any dispute about that. Kayla's birth parents got their parental responsibility revoked in February 2021, and after the petition process was completed, they were allowed to apply to adopt her. They weren't sure if courts would indeed be open because of the pandemic outbreak, so they weren't set on a definite day. Behold, the day of the adoption was actually formed. The adoption took place last August 18. This rollercoaster story got me all excited. They had just experienced the most incredible sense of satisfaction. They do not have to worry about further court appearances if she had been secure and loved, or if this had been supposed to be their final dinner or family trip with her. It was simply a huge weight lifted from their shoulders. When both of Zach's children were born, he would have equated happiness to that level. For the whole family to relax, they went on a family road trip to Utah just after adopting to see Yellowstone National Park and Mount Rushmore National Memorial. They just wanted to congratulate her, so when they returned, they threw a big party. Kayla started telling everyone that it was her change of name celebration because they were actually switching her surname. She received cakes and gifts, as well as a large number of Zach's family and friends joined them in celebrating her birthday. When cops have children, they were doing a lot for them, and in the police force in Kingman, Arizona, Zach's co-workers did the same thing when the adoption was finalised. They gave Kayla a little blanket with her recent adoption date embroidered on it. She was ecstatic about it all, and she'll tell you her full name and birthday whenever she gets a chance. The police chief of Kingman Police Department, Lieutenant Brian, Zach's passion for the community safety is mirrored in his love and commitment for Kayla, said his colleague in an interview. What a wonderful couple. He hopes for more success for both fantastic parents. Zach says she enjoys schooling, wildlife and dancing, and whenever Kayla goes on make-believe cruise vacations in her cardboard box. She's hilarious, she's funny, Zach said in an interview. Zach's advice to prospective new parents is not to be frightened of the journey, since it is absolutely worth it. Officer Zach, you did an excellent job. Let's pray that this act of kindness and compassion inspires others to do the same. And that is all for today's video. What do you think of this story? What can we do to stop the abuse in children? What is your takeaway from this story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Before leaving, be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get updated on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.